Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Brownie.
So, oh my goodness, it's finally happened. We have on a guest. Bill, we are so glad to have you here.
I am so excited to be here. This is amazing. It's so much. I'm looking forward to today a lot. So.
Okay, awesome. So, Bill, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what are some of your interests and stuff like that?
Sure. I have really I enjoy Star Wars a lot, and it's been really fun to get to know Jeremy and Kara, and they have done an amazing job of just rekindling my love for Star Wars. And so I didn't even know all these different things about some of the outside of the movies, and so I'm just learning so much about the world of Star Wars, and it's been super exciting. But I love video games. I'm a super big Halo fan.
All right.
Yeah, so I love that.
Yes.
I do play Pokemon Go, a little of the Harry Potter Wizards Unite. So I've really been enjoying the new game, and even gotten into the Star Wars Heroes of the Galaxy. Galaxy of Heroes, yeah. And that's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying that game too. So
That's awesome. Okay, so we are going to have a couple different topics I want to talk about today, but I have a quick story about what just happened to me. You almost lost me as a host today, or as an episode on the show. I have
I have been with him all day. How do I not know about this?
because it just happened 5 minutes before we started filming.
Oh, well.
oh, man.
So we stopped by McDonald's on the way here. I got some fries and a burger. And as I was walking out to the car to grab some stuff to set up, a fry went down my throat the long way, like a seagull would eat it maybe. And I stood by the truck outside choking. And I thought I almost was going to run in and go, what? Or like yell at you guys to call the emergency medical services. So I sat there and I was freaking out. So I just
Jeremy's sitting there like a seagull.
That's what it was like. So I mashed up. I shoved more fries in my mouth. I doubled down. I did. I doubled down. And
I
just
poured more
mashed
gasoline on the fire, and it still didn't go out.
I did. I mashed more down and I swallowed to push the fry down the rest of the way.
Did it work?
It worked.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, I'm
Did
gonna
you
double
die,
down.
though?
No, well, it felt like it. So then I finished up with some water and I sat, I just took a deep breath and I was like, wow, I survived that. I survived the great fry, the fry thing. So it made me pretty nervous. So I thought, well,
As long as you can breathe, we couldn't even perform the Heimlich if we wanted to.
choosing to go with the fries to go down the gullet.
Yeah, that was probably smart.
I was going to say I was committed at that point. I thought you might not, if I didn't do that, you might be able to get the fry out somehow. But as I was trying to breathe, it just slipped a little bit more each time. I'm like, this isn't good. I can't believe I did this. So yeah, a solid fry went straight down.
Apparently, we need a long hemostat.
Yep.
Just shove it down the gullet. Just click it out.
Jeremy just needs adult supervision when he's eating.
Apparently.
Jeremy needs his food cut into little bite-sized pieces.
So
I cut his grapes in half for him.
oh, she really does it. Well, it was so we were playing Minecraft last night, and Bill, you saw that there was 6 people on.
Yeah.
We hadn't eaten dinner because we were running around doing some crazy stuff, and we got a new washer and dryer. So I just want to give a shout out to David and Jarrett for saving the day because they helped us from. I guess I get almost murdered every day because I almost got the dryer fell on my toe or the washing machine fell on my leg last night, and then, anyways, David and Jarrett saved the day. So I want to give a shout out to them. So Kara and I didn't get a chance to eat dinner. So being nice person that she was, she at 9:30 at night, she's like, oh, I'm going to get up and, whatever. So Kara brought me a plate of coleslaw and potato salad and some chicken legs left over from the 4th. And I'm like, Chris is like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, oh, Kara's just bringing me dinner and it's 9:30 at night. He's like, what is this, 1952 here? You're serving you a late night dinner because you asked for it or whatever. So that just made me laugh. But no, those guys came over and they saved the day. But we'll put a pin in Minecraft because we're gonna come back to that because that's really fun. But Bill, I wanted to talk about the internet has been ablaze this past week with the way that people say words. The way that they pronounce things. And so Chris and I have a debate going way back where I used to say, instead of saying enunciate, I would say pronunciate, which is not actually a word. So I'd be like, oh, that's the way I pronunciate it. And Chris is like, that is not right. It is not right.
There's pronounce, there's enunciate.
So I hybrid 2 words. So I will start off, Bill, but I have made some people laugh in the past for the way I've said a couple words around the area. So first of all, if you drive down Highway 53, you come across Levake. Well, I was talking to David's dad one day, and I was telling him, yeah, I just passed Lavaque or Lavacue Road. He's like, Lava Q, where are you? And I'm like, oh, going down this way. And he goes, Lava Q, Lava Q. He goes, oh my goodness, you mean Lavake?
You just play too much Minecraft.
I did, right, yeah, lava. Yeah, all the lava in Minecraft.
No, I mean, if Jeremy was saying lava, it'd be laver.
It'd be, well, I do that to be funny.
You'd-
Because the way the British say it is like they say laver.
Aluminium,
and,
laver.
aluminium, yeah, Mario. And,
Oh, Mario. Okay.
So anyways, and then another one that I'm really famous for is, you've heard of Bawabik?
Yes.
I say Biwabik. So I was like, I was like, oh yeah, I was up by Biwabik, and they're like, Biwabik? What world are you living in? I'm like,
Right.
oh, Biwabik. So, is there any Kara? Do you have any funny words that you ever mispronounced that you know?
Well, I know whenever I see the word epitome, my first thought is epitome. I think that's
that's
for
a pretty
everyone.
common one.
Yeah.
Everyone, a good old epitome. And then Bill, did you have any words that?
Well, I think one of my favorite ones of all time was my kids. They would, instead of saying ambulance, they would say ambience.
Oh, funny.
And so they'd always see an ambulance drive by, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
But I do have a couple. I went to school to be a civil engineer, and whenever I would try to say asphalt, I would say asphalt.
Oh, funny.
And so I would always
Just run together
mispronounce
and-
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would always mispronounce it. And then a new famous one is like a guitar riff. I always say riffed. And my
Yes.
wife,
Jeremy does that too.
yeah, my
Yes.
wife kind of doesn't like when I say it's a rift, and she
No.
corrects me very lovingly.
No.
Well, and so for the longest time, I always thought it was nip it in the butt, but it's nip it in the bud because flowers grow, hence you nip.
And then I
bud.
know this is a big one for people, but I couldn't care less.
Oh, this is a sore spot.
Oh
for
my
Kara.
goodness. When people say I could care less, I'm like, okay, so you care.
Right.
They're like, no, I could care less. I'm like, no, you mean you couldn't care less because you've given up all your cares.
Chris, do you have any
So, I
ones that
don't
you've
know.
ever
I
mispronounced?
mean, so
you're
it's
pretty
fu-
sharp.
It,
so.
It's funny. Well, so I'll intentionally mispronounce things, like with you with lava Q, and I've done
Yeah.
the exact same one actually because I think it's funny. Like the lava's getting queued up. Watch out, whatever.
right.
But like, if somebody does like something and I'm saying thank you, it's like sometimes people say gracias. I'll say
Yeah.
Garcias, and they'll look at me all funny and be like, I'm intentionally saying it wrong to be funny, but it's just like one step like not clever enough. So
It's funny.
So this actually got Janae not in trouble, but almost. So I haven't done a shout out to my sister yet. So my sister had broke down once in her car, and she was trying to give directions to her husband to come pick her up. And she's like, I'm by a bar. I'm by the Rendivius. And Kevin's like, the Rendivius? I have no idea where you're at. And like, this was a while ago. This was like when Nokia was the most strongest phone on the planet, and it could like survive anything. You couldn't like look up on your phone where you were at or just send them your location. She's trying to explain it to him. And I like, when I heard the story, Rendivius, I just thought it was the funniest thing. That is like, oh, so then he finally figured out, he's like, by a bar. Oh my goodness, it's the Rendezvous. You are by the Rendezvous, not the Rendivius. So, and then we told the famous bear story last week, and everybody like loved the bear story.
Yes.
And you had talked about when we talked about Han Yodashrek, our actual, technically our first guest, old famous Han Yodashrek. That we talked about, you didn't really pick up on it right away, Chris, because it sounded like it was like Han Yoda.
it was like the name Han Yoda Shrek. I thought
Yes,
it was like
Han-
it was like an Eastern European like guy's like "Rrr." Like that's how he says things. It's just a grunt, but
So being like I'm into computers, my dad used to call me up whenever he'd have a problem with his computers, and so he called me up one day. This was a while ago too, and he thought he was being scammed on the internet. So he called me up and he said, "Jeremy, I won this eBay, and I'm getting emails from 2 different people claiming that they're the sellers." I'm like, "What?" I couldn't figure it out. He goes, "Yeah, I'm getting an email. One guy says that I've got to pay him, and that send him the money. And then this other guy is emailing me and say he's the owner of the auction and that I need to pay up." And so I went over there and he was trying to explain it to me over the phone and I couldn't get it. And so he kept saying Endofauction. One of the emails was from Endofauction. And I got over there and I looked at it and I didn't even get it until it was in person. And I looked at it and I literally shook my head and went, "Dad, that's end of auction from @ebay.com. They're simply notifying you that you won the bid, So I always thought that was really
And
funny.
a function.
So Bill, I'm going to ask you. So I was looked up a couple of like the most famously mispronounced words, and I asked your wife about these,
Okay.
and she knew she knew these words.
All right.
So I want to see if you know. So The first one is if kids are causing mischief, like what's the plural form of that? They're being what?
Mischievous.
See?
I said
So
the same thing.
It's mischievous.
Ah.
And a lot of people tend to do the chi in the middle there. So they say,
Yeah.
oh, they're being mischievous. I also say mischievous.
Okay.
Serenity is like, no, it's mischievous. I'm like, well, what? How did you know that? You know, so, because you're around people.
That's
you know?
another one that I'm going to get wrong.
What?
I'll be
Yeah.
with my wife.
Oh, yeah. So then another one is, so you have a famous, he writes books for kids, famous author, is known for his rhymes, like Green Eggs and Ham and Cat in the Hat. Which author was that?
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. His name is actually Dr. Seuss.
Ah.
And like the whole internet apparently, or the whole world mispronounces his name wrong to the point where it was just, it's accepted to say Dr.
Right.
Seuss.
No way.
Well, it's
But that's
like
all I've ever heard.
J.K. Rowling. It's not Voldemort. It's Voldemort.
Oh, without the T.
The T. She came out and said that. She's like, but everybody's just been saying Voldemort, so we're gonna go with it.
I remember like reading Harry Potter, trying to say Hermione's name.
Oh, I always said Hermione.
Yeah, I know. Like if you read the book, you always, it's like, no one's ever, there was no movies at the time to pronounce
Right.
it for
Yeah.
you.
Well,
So-
I didn't grow up with the movie, so up until I watched them with you, like mid-20s, I was saying Hermione, and Jeremy
Right.
was like, "Wait, what? Hermione?"
What are you talking about here?
Well, a similar thing with like Pokemon names. and
Oh,
people
Right.
just
yes.
mispronounce everything. And like people will fight to the death for their pronunciation. And
Yeah.
there's like some pseudo-official places that are like, no, this is how it's pronounced. Is it Rayquaza? Is it Rayquaza?
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
Well, and then like the thing with Jeremy, the Droidica
Oh,
or
yeah.
Droideca,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the Tantivy or the Tantive.
Yep. Man, just everything.
know?
You can't trust any pronunciation of anything ever.
Well,
Well-
and kind of a funny thing, kind of a little branch off. I'm listening to Alphabet Squadron right now, and I was telling Jeremy there's a person in Alphabet Squadron whose name is Greninja. My immediate thought was Greninja from Pokemon.
Yeah, the Pokemon. A great Pokemon, too.
I
by the
mean,
way.
one letter difference. You know?
Jeremy, you just need to raise up your mic a little bit. You're hitting the top of it sometimes, and it's making a pop noise. There you go. Thank
Will this
you.
make you feel better, Chris?
Yes.
All
Well,
right,
it's
there
just
we
it
go.
sounds better.
Got it.
That's what I was trying to signal to you earlier.
All right, I figured I would slouch
That's gonna
down.
be that's gonna be the new signal for raise your mic.
You raise me up.
Oh yes, and you need to sing the song as you tell him to raise the mic.
I don't know that song.
Won't be distracting.
Just some Josh Groban. So that was just really
Or is
funny.
it Groban?
Oh,
It's
God.
Groban. Oh my goodness. Jeremy and his mom is Groban. I'm like, no, it's Groban. And then Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Ed Sheeran for years, and then I heard it on the radio or something. Ed Sheeran. I was like, oh.
Well, and that was like, so I really like Joshua. It's pronounced Raiden, but I used to say Joshua Radine for the longest time.
Yeah.
Until I was corrected and went to his concert.
Yep.
Which is another really funny story. So, Bill, I don't know if you have one you want to share, but this was the worst foot and mouth experience I've ever had.
I almost cried.
was to Kara. So Kara took me out to Caribou for coffee and to give me my Valentine's Day present when we were just dating at the time.
Yeah.
And she said, she kept telling me she was super excited to give me the Valentine's Day present, just super excited. And so we sit down, we're having coffee, and I was like, I'd been a long week at work and everything. And she like gets all excited. And she's like, are you ready for this? And I'm not kidding. I don't know what came over me. I said, Kara, I will love whatever you get as long as it doesn't involve driving to the cities. And she deflated, absolutely deflated. She had gotten me tickets to see Joshua Radin in concert in the cities. And I was like, she was-
I almost cried. I was like,
you can see it. Like, she completely deflated, and I felt so bad. Instant foot and mouth. I'm like, well, of course I'm going to love to see him. He's like one of my favorite, musicians and everything like that. So it was like going to the cities didn't seem like a thing anymore, like a chore. But up until that, I would have never thought that she would be on that point with her gift giving, and she was. So I don't know, have you ever like...
Well, I think, when you go to the movie theater, and I've done this a couple times, where you go and you buy concessions, and you're like, hey, and they say, enjoy your movie. And then you say, you too. And they're
Oh
standing
my
there at
gosh,
the concession stand,
yes.
and you're like, you're not.
Oh, you're not gonna go see the
gonna
movie.
I'm going to see the movie, and yeah.
Enjoy your dinner. You too.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. Well, it's actually really funny because there's a group. Have you guys heard of the Freshman Philosopher?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's a guy. He does a few different videos types. He does a Freshman Philosopher, but then here's a regular one where he just says funny, everyday things that you do, but it makes him really funny. Anyway, he did one where he and his girlfriend go to a movie theater, and the guy sitting there has a sign that says, "Please don't say you too."
Oh.
And so as they walk into the theater, he says, enjoy the show. And the girl says, you too. And she looks at his sign. She's like, oh,
That's so funny.
it's true. I do it all the time. Enjoy the movie. You too. Oh, never mind.
So Kara, you had mentioned one other one that you thought was really funny. So it was like if we say words like other words.
There was a thing going around on Twitter that I recently saw, and it said, what if you pronounced words that are spelled similarly? What if you pronounce them the same way? So like Penelope, what if you pronounce it like we say envelope?
Penelope. Or whatever.
What was it? Envelope?
Envelope, or if you say envelope, like you say Penelope.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it was.
Envelope like Penelope. Envelope.
I guess I've
Envelope.
done that before.
Yeah.
Just like
So-
thinking about it, it's like, oh, envelope.
But there were like, I don't know, 20 different words that they were like, what if you said this like this? It was kind of funny. I wish I could think of more than just envelope and Penelope, but
It's like, what if you said owl, like bowl?
yeah,
Yeah.
ol, yeah. You know, it's stuff like that,
That's
you know.
funny. That was a good one. Did you just think of that on the fly, Chris?
Yeah, well, I was looking at the bird.
Oh, funny. Oh.
This is not an owl. It's a condor.
And it's an owl.
Okay, you guys keep talking. I'll see if we can find some more.
Find some more of those because those are really funny. So, Bill, you were saying that we've had people like feedback about. Sometimes we'll talk about Star Wars. So I'm going to bring up like the most random. Did you know who Poggle the Lesser was before we started watching this?
No.
So okay, so
No
Poggle.
clue.
Chris was like, we were talking one day, and Karen and I just casually talk about Poggle. He was like the leader of all the Genosians during the Clone Wars, and so he was the boss, Poggle the Lesser. He actually, there's a scene of him in the second movie, Attack of the Clones. He's got the Death Star plans in his hand, his hands, and he's walking there. So Chris and I have a running joke if we're talking about something that's a little like off the beaten path. We'll be like, oh, you're gonna Poggle it up over there.
Yeah.
Right? And talk about Poggle.
Jeremy and his Poggle Esoterica.
So I'm excited. Hopefully, we talked about our next guest might be Keith, and he really likes Batman.
Yes.
And so I'm
He's a
excited
Batman
because
guy.
I don't know enough about. I don't know much about Batman. Like I've watched the mainstream movies, and that's about it. But I mean, you'd see Adam West runs on TV back in the day, and then all the way up to Christian Bale, which I really liked Val Kilmer as Batman. He was only in the one, but
You're not going to say anything about Ben Affleck? The Batfleck?
oh man,
I didn't think his performance was bad. It was just not the Batman that people like.
Right.
Like it's like the old man Batman,
Right.
whatever. It's just like, and Batman's thing is like, don't use guns. And what does Ben Affleck do?
Right,
He's
right.
using guns. So.
Right.
So
So-
the negative anticipation of that was just so much that even when it was like okay, was like I couldn't get over it.
Right.
Fair enough.
And so like I do know Aquaman surprised me. So like in the Justice League with the Ben Affleck one, I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. His character is super cool.
Oh my
and of
goodness,
course
I love him.
Gal Gadot or it's Gadot, right? It's not Gadot.
It's Godot.
It's
like
it's not Godot, it's
it's-
Godot.
Oh man.
it's not a hard T. It's more like a
Like a D
It's more
almost?
like a D. Yeah.
See, this is why I need to go to pronunciation school. So I can learn how to
Pronunciation
pronunciate words.
school.
So
I can't find any more.
but that was fun. I like the bowl and the owl one.
Yeah.
So anyways, so this past week we have been having like Minecraft has made a resurgence in our lives.
Resplurgence?
Is that a word?
Resurgence.
Resurgence. Man.
Splurge and research.
Well, this is the podcast to make word mistakes
right.
on. This is the
Yeah,
episode.
you get free passes. Amnesty on word pronunciation mistakes.
Okay, if we get a word to get big enough, they'll add it to the dictionary.
Well, resplurgence.
They
We're
do.
gonna
I
resplurge
mean,
it all the way into the dictionary.
So anyway, so it made a big comeback. So we had started a realm a while ago, and then Bill, your daughters play. You've been playing. Chris plays. Mike, David, Jarrett. We've all been playing, and it's been really fun because for the first time ever, like you fire up the server and you'll see, oh, there's 6 people online right now or whatever. And it's really been fun to see the way the world is transforming. So have you been having fun with Minecraft, Bill?
Oh yeah, it's been great. I played it a little bit when it first came out. Okay, a lot bit when it first came out, and then just kind of faded away. But now with Minecraft Earth coming out, I'm like, I need to get back into this a little bit, so I'm not completely having to catch up. And
Right.
so it's been a lot of fun just going back in survivor mode. And my kids always like to do the creative mode and spawn as many creatures as they could. And now on the Xbox One, you can literally spawn as many creatures as you want. So
Right.
it's really exciting.
You can spawn a whole bunch. So I know
Yeah.
we're talking about you started playing on the 360.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you when the 360 first came out, it wasn't Infinite Worlds on the 360.
Oh, yeah.
You had an actual
It
map
was,
edge.
in hindsight, it's small.
I know.
really small.
Very small.
And you just get there and you're like, oh, I want to go check out oh, I'm not able to because you just hit a wall. And you're just-
Exactly.
you can see it. but
So are
can't
you
do
not
it.
guaranteed all the biomes? Were you not?
No.
Like
No.
2 biomes.
Oh,
plus,
really?
Yeah.
If you didn't get a village to spawn in there, there's nowhere you can go to get another one to spawn. That
Yeah,
map was
I
a
guess
dud
so.
map. You know, the only thing that was supposed to be legit was the Ender Dragon. Like, there should have been at least one nether fortress within so many spaces of the spawn point. But you had mentioned, I don't know how much detail you can recall it back with, but when you first started playing,
Yeah.
you know, you got bit by, you would carry a lot of diamond stuff with you and you'd fall
Oh
into
yeah,
it.
you just mining along, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know, kind of zoning out, and you just hit the lava. And so there was, I remember one time I had, you know, multiple diamond pickaxes, diamond armor, lava, stacks of diamond, just, and it was all gone. And it was a point where it's like, that's it, I'm done. For
Gotta
a
walk
while.
away.
Yeah, you gotta walk away.
Rage quit.
Yep.
That's, yeah.
I'm out.
Well, so we've done this before with like the lava rescue squad. As soon as you fall into lava, you disconnect.
We have successfully
And
done this.
I've done it a bunch of times. Somebody falls in and like, okay, where were you? What were you mining? And whatever, you find it, you put some water down, you start digging it out around it until all the lava's gone.
You completely clear it.
And then when they reconnect, they're just sitting in a puddle of water, so it puts them out, and then they survive. So
You and I used to do that a lot when
Yep.
we would play on PC.
Yep.
I would, if I fell into like lava, you know, I'd be like, I would DC really quickly, and then they have got to find. If you're in a mine like the way we mine,
Yeah,
like
strip
in
mines.
mine, you know, you can find it pretty easily. But that's always super stressful. It's like, oh man.
Oh,
Here goes
it's
all
speaking
that
of
hard
lava.
work.
So I am doing a lot of terraforming
Yes.
by my apartments in our realm, and
Maybe
I was-
we'll put up a screenshot, Chris, of the realm so people can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
yeah, and so when you're terraforming, you get so much dirt and
Oh, yeah.
cobblestone,
Yep.
and so
Oh,
all
yes.
of my chests are full. All of my dirt is full. I'm like, I'm so sick of this. So I needed a way to get rid of it.
So what does she do?
I'm telling my story. So I dig a couple down. I build this little wall that has not been there at all. I don't know why Jeremy didn't like light bulb. There's something here, you know. And I put lava into it so I can just be dumping dirt into my lava pit. All of a sudden, I look over and you hear that tunk, 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 you know, when somebody's getting hurt. And I look over, Jeremy decided to jump over my little lava thing and fell right into the lava.
I almost died trying to get out of there because you rise up and you do the breaststroke in the Bedrock edition. The second you hit any type of water, you instantly do that little breaststroke thing, and it's like the same for lava. It's the
And
same
then
mechanic.
then you have to get like the transition to get
Yes.
standing up to get out.
So I almost died, and so Kara left her lava pit uncovered, and it almost killed me.
that little mound wasn't there before.
In
I mean,
Jeremy's defense, I almost fell into the exact same thing.
We both
What is wrong
go
with
And
straight
so
line.
it's in line with the bridge. So
Yeah.
you're like, there's the bridge. I'm gonna run towards the bridge, and then like, oh, I'll just jump over this thing. And I
Yeah.
managed to just get on the other side. I was like, why is there open pit lava? I was about to plug it, but it's like it's probably here for a reason.
It was.
So,
But yeah.
your daughter has been trying to get you to trip into a ravine and die so she can take your stuff.
Well, see, at first it was a shallow ravine. You just lose a little bit of life and no big deal. And I was gone for 2 days. Come back, and when I came back, I'm like, I think I'm gonna go this other way around their house that they built. So I go around the other way, and then I happen to look, and there's this pit that's probably 20 blocks deep, and I'm
Yeah.
like, had I gone through that spot, I would have been done.
Done.
I would have just been
Your level's gone.
splat.
Yep.
Everything
All your stuff.
done. Yep.
So just tell her to put down 1 block of lava, and then that'll get
That would've gotten
that'll
it.
get you.
Yeah.
You know,
There you go.
because that's all it needs to
Seriously.
to mess it up. So
When it comes to burying things, my daughter had a favorite pig, and so accidentally her pig was killed.
oh no, who did it?
But I think I
Like a
can't
mob?
remember. I think it must have been a mob that did. And so she grabs the pork that's left, the pork
Yep.
chop. So she actually goes and digs a hole, puts it in it, and buries it, and puts a little grave marker right there. So you could check around, you might see the graveyard for her pig on the
I
road.
saw that.
We did.
Now I
Okay.
know the
Yeah.
story.
That's what happened.
I
She
thought
lost
it
her
was-
favorite pig.
I thought it
she
was
had
the
a saddle on
cutest
it, was
thing.
riding it around in it.
So
Poor
Telltale Games made a story mode of Minecraft, and it,
Minecraft story, wasn't it?
a Minecraft story, and what it did was you it was a choose your own adventure type story, and then it would play through the game for you, but you anytime there's any type of interaction or it comes to like a split in the road, you'd pick what you'd want to do, and there's always at least 4 choices. You know, like not go down the path at all, or go left, or go right, and stuff like that. And you get a your best friend is a pig, and his name
Reuben.
was Rubes. Reuben. the
We
pig.
called him Rubes. That was his
Rubes.
nickname.
And so
Rubes.
Kara and I would sit down, we'd play this together. We would each take a turn picking what we'd want to do. And there's 6 stories that you play through, and you have Rubes through all of the stories. And at the very end, you climb this giant like mountain to stop the main antagonist. And you have to make a jump. And like if you fall, you die.
Yeah.
So it was like you go to run and make this jump, and it cuts to your pig, and your pig looks and he knows you're not going to make it. So he comes from the other way and he like runs and then like slaps the key or the torch or the weapon that you're going for, slaps it towards you. You grab it and then you land, and then he plummets and plummets and plummets, and he hits the bottom and then drops to a pork chop because he died. So there's just a little piece of ham float there. It's like, no, Reuben, as he's dropping, and then
He's
but,
so
being that it's
cute.
Minecraft, it's just
And
so
they
much.
gave him just the sweetest, sassiest personality.
Yeah,
so when
he
you
would
lost,
like,
it was
oink
like,
and stuff to like, he had a personality. And so it's like, to have him through the entire 5 episodes, and then
Right.
in episode 6, just turn into a pork chop. It's like, no!
I mean, do you think they did that to help kids cope with pets deaths or something? I don't know. I mean,
It's a circle of Minecraft life, I guess.
I was so
Yes, it
sad.
is.
Like, I actually didn't finish
Right.
my story line because I was like, I can't handle it
She
again.
can't handle Rubes giving up his life, but he died valiantly, saving everybody. Oh, 'cause I think like a wither comes and like tries to like suck up all the blocks and like
Yeah, there's like
creates
some
nothing.
super wither or something.
Yeah,
It's like a different.
Did you play it?
I didn't, but I was reading about it. I was
I-
reading about the different bosses. and
I'm
stuff.
trying to think because the guy who did the voice acting for the main character is a famous actor. I'm trying to think of who he was though, but I can't even think of anything else he's been in. But he's super famous. So anyway, so yeah, we've been playing a lot of Minecraft. It's been really fun. It's been fun seeing what I like logging onto a server when it's full of people, and then there's all this fun stuff that they've built because then the world keeps changing. And I've really been getting into like making the statues and stuff like that, and theming different things. And did you look him up, Kara?
I saw D. Bradley Baker's face.
Did he play a character in it?
He might.
The Minecraft story. Well, Kara went down the rabbit trail.
This is not good.
So Bill, we'll talk
Patton
about
Oswalt?
Patton Oswalt. That's who it is. He's played in a ton of stuff.
I love him. He's awesome.
No forking way.
What?
Guess who he plays?
Who?
Reuben.
He plays Reuben too.
D. Bradley Baker plays
Oh
Reuben.
no way! You're kidding me.
Yes.
So people who don't know, D. Bradley
Captain-
Baker has played Captain Rex. He's played. He is a huge
American Dad.
Yeah, he's been in a
American Dad.
million things.
He's been in a
Huh.
million
He's
things.
he's
Yeah,
like
Perry the
Phineas and Ferb.
Platypus.
Yeah, yep.
He plays Reuben.
He plays Reuben.
I cannot believe that.
Oh, okay. So next celebration of D. Bradley Baker's there.
I'm gonna dress up
I'm
as
gonna wear
Rubes.
a shirt that says
Yes.
Reuben forever and put a picture of Rubes on there.
I'm gonna wear one that says Reuben sandwich with a piece of ham on it.
Oh, that's so fun. I can't believe he plays Reuben.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, but yeah, Patton Oswalt's really funny, and he plays your character that you play in the game.
That's awesome.
So you, Bill, you love Star Wars. You love Halo.
Yeah.
Do you have any really cool like Star Wars stories? When was the first time you ever seen? Do you remember when you first saw Star Wars?
Man, that'll date me. It was as a kid, I was just catching the end of them in the theater, and I wasn't I don't even remember going to watch them. I might have seen the last one in the theater, but as a young child, that was a part of my life, and to watch the story of Luke unfold to this pretty much a nobody,
Right.
and he finds out he's something.
Yeah,
It's that story of every kid. Like, what if someone came to me and like, you're a wizard, Harry.
Right,
It's
right.
it's that moment of being brought up into this grander story, and you're just like, oh, but I'm just here mowing the lawn or going to
Right.
school or whatever it is.
Well, that was him
And
in the
so-
beginning. He
Right.
was the Moisture Farm. That was
Moisture
what he
Farmer,
was doing.
Yeah,
So.
and then he's flying ships and in the out in the universe and saving the galaxy, and it was pretty amazing. So
All right, I got to get a battery.
Sure.
Camera.
Sounds
So
good.
I will
Yeah,
be
the-
right
the-
back.
the-
I got another Star Wars story. I can tell
Yeah,
while you're
so
on your
this will
way.
be the Karen Bill show for
I
about
was
2
gonna-
minutes.
I was gonna say, built off of what Bill said about Luke being a nobody. So right now Rey is a nobody, And I know that there's, I was on the Galactic Fempire Facebook page, and a lot of the girls are saying that they will be very upset if they go back and retcon in that Rey's parents are actually somebodies after saying that they're nobodies, because they're like, you don't need to be from some well-to-do family to be somebody, you know? So like in the Star Wars, you don't need to come from a family of Jedis to be a Jedi. And they kind of hinted at that at the end of The Last Jedi with a little boy sweeping and like using the Force to pull the broom towards him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, you know.
I want Rey's parents to be somebody.
I do too. So
Yeah, you think like she's got to be from somewhere. Like, what's the connection? Because it doesn't just happen, but it has just happened as well.
Right.
You know, with Anakin's story, it happened, and there's a story of Palpatine, you know, and his previous master who was trying to like create life, and it's like, wait,
Right.
what? Did they do that? Is there something going on? Is there some knowledge out there where
Right.
where life is being created?
well, and then what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say.
Well, the movie's called Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
feel like
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. When Han brings Rey to Maz's cantina,
oh, right,
Maz looks at him, says, "Who's the girl?" and then they cut away.
yeah. There's
It's
something
like
to
there's
that.
got to be something, because why would they just cut away like that without Han, you know, explaining?
I think all of The Last Jedi was a red herring for this next movie.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan Johnson wanted to go a little bit different way, I think, but it's like I'm so glad they brought back.
Okay, speaking of pronunciation, is it Rian Johnson or Ryan
I'm
Johnson?
Ryan.
pretty sure it's Ryan.
Is
Ryan,
it?
yeah.
I've heard it both ways. So, okay.
I've always heard it as Ryan, even though it's spelled
Oh.
weird. But yeah, I've
Okay.
always heard Ryan.
So,
Gotcha.
so I'm super excited, you know, to see how the rise of Skywalker
Mm-hmm.
ends. Like I haven't been this amped about a movie ever. I am so excited because it's like,
I was pretty hype on Endgame.
oh, Endgame
Yes.
was fantastic, and I walked out of Endgame saying like that up to that point, it was one of the like there's so many iconic scenes. And Chris, I don't know if you still have the spoiler alert card.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Because it's still in theaters, so it's kind of a gray area at this point. But I think anybody who's wanted to see it will see it. But when like Captain picks up the hammer, and he pull or whatever, and he can use it, it was like, oh my goodness! And then Avengers Assemble, and just
Yeah.
that was an epic movie. It was so good, and you have to watch 22 movies to really understand the importance of all the little details, in that movie. So it was cool
Yeah.
to see that come to light.
I didn't mean to push this ad Endgame. You can go back to the Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
I was just
So it's just like, but I am excited because like for me when I started watching Star Wars, I remember I would watch reruns on TV, and I had seen the most of Return of the Jedi because they would like play that one all the time, and you see the Ewoks and the Han scene at the end. He's running out and blowing up the shield generator building for the Empire, and just watching Lando blow the Death Star up. It's such a good movie. I was captivated by it. And then what really got me was when they came out with episodes 1, 2, and 3, because now it was a new generation of Star Wars movie that came out, and then I got to grow up with that stuff. And then they had all the merchandising and stuff like that. And Chris, I have an awesome fact for you about that. So George Lucas is known as like the merchandising king, I guess.
Oh, I think I know this
Really?
fact.
And all movies now do their merchandising because of the way that Star Wars set it up. So when Mel Brooks approached George Lucas about doing Spaceballs,
Yep.
he was on board. George Lucas was like, "You're good to go. You can do whatever you want, blah 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 blah, but you may not sell any merchandise."
Yep. He didn't want
That is-
anything to compete with Star Wars merch.
merchandise. So that is why there are
Wow.
no Spaceballs merchandise. So it's like,
And
Interesting.
that's also why the scene is in there when he's like, merchandising. That's where the real money is in the movies.
see, and that's what
Spaceballs the cereal. Spaceballs the flamethrower.
and that's what's made him all the money is the merchandising that goes along with it.
Interesting.
And so yeah, so that was just kind of a cool little tidbit. But the thing is, there was all this like Star Wars stuff coming out and all these things that went along with it. And so it's like I got to see 1, 2, and 3. You and I went and saw episode 1 in theaters in Cloquet, did we not together?
Yes, I think
Phantom
I think we
Menace?
both went. I won radio tickets. Strangely enough,
That's
for
right.
episode 2 and 3, we definitely went together. But I just ended up. I was listening to a radio station I never listened to. This is actually a good story that I never tell anybody.
Well, tell it now, Chris.
But so that's like I'm at the time, like 12 years old, right? And I normally listen to the local,
WKLK.
the classic rock station. And for some reason, I think I was at somebody's house. I might have been at like Eric's house or something. and the country station was giving away tickets, and I called in and won tickets to see
That's
the
awesome.
midnight. This is like way before they used to do Thursday night midnight screenings, and it was the Thursday night midnight screening at our local movie theater. It was this big thing or whatever, and I won tickets, and my mom had to take me because I wasn't old enough to go. So my mom had to stay up until midnight on a Thursday night and bring me to see episode 1. But it was awesome. It was like people were dressed up in line. They had lightsaber fights. It was
Yes.
a blast to be a 12-year-old and be like, and Star Wars is coming out, and like people cheered when it would and Star Wars came on and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
It was like the most hype I'd ever seen anybody ever be. And like, and it was a fun experience. Like the movie's not that great, but the experience I had with that movie was something that I'll never forget. And it's because I was randomly listening to a radio station and won tickets.
That's great.
So what you just described as beginning of the movie, that's what Star Wars Celebration is for 4 or 5 days.
Yes.
straight. People having lightsaber fights, people hooting and hollering and cheering and just gloating about Star Wars. So I can't wait because Chris is going to be there at the next
Yeah.
celebration, and so it'll be really, really fun. So you just reminded me, and it's Star Wars related, of a really funny story of when I was younger. I used to listen to the Disney Radio Disney. And so
I love this story.
I never, you guys, this is so funny. I never thought like I would get through. You'd call like all the time and it would just be instant busy signal. So I call up and the phone started ringing. And I was like, I was not that old, maybe 12 or 13, I'm guessing. Called up, touch tone phone or whatever, did the thing. The guy answers and he's like, hey, you're on Radio Disney. And it was for a Millennium Falcon foam disc blaster. So it had the Falcon in the front, and then the top where the gun opens up, that turret opens up, and you pack those foam discs in. They
Yeah.
look like those sour orange,
Peachos or whatever.
Peachos. Yeah. So you load it with discs, and then you hit the button, and you hit a little motor, and the thing was loud because it's an old toy. It was like a little vacuum motor come on, and you hit the button, and it would make the Millennium Falcon sounds, and it would just shoot these foam discs out far away. It didn't hurt but they go so far because they were lightweight. So you do it anyways. So I just had to answer the question right, and I always I listen to morning trivia on the radio all the time still to this day, and I know about 90% of them. They're some easy ones. Anyways, I was like all set. I was ready. The guy's like, all right, you're on Radio Disney. Who am I talking to? I'm like, oh, this is Jeremy, and I'm just so excited. And he goes, all right, all you have to do is tell me which character is opposite of Salt Ann. And I was completely stumped. I'm like,
Pepper?
Salt and what? What's the salt and what? Salt Ann. What's salt? I didn't know what Salt Ann was.
Yeah,
I was like,
it sounds like
Sultan?
Sultan, yeah.
Sultan. I'm like, completely blank. I'm like, He goes, it's a red-haired girl. And I'm like, Pippi Longstocking? And he's like, no. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. He goes, what's the opposite of salt? And I said, pepper? And he's like, so what's the name? And I'm like, what's the opposite of Ann? He goes, no, just the opposite of salt. And I said, pepper. And he goes, then just say the next thing. I'm like, Ann? He goes, yes, that's correct. Pepper Ann. You won. Well, so they don't record it live. So I listen to the radio comes on, the end of the commercials come on, and it goes, hey, you're on Radio Disney. What's the, for the Millennium Falcon, what's the answer to what's the opposite of Salt Ann? And you hear me go, Pepper Ann? Correct! And that's the only part that made it onto the radio. So I felt super good, but it was like the most stressful interaction I ever had. He clearly wanted me to win, like he went to bat for me and everything, but I just was not getting it. I was like stage fright on the radio.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and so anyways, and then you stay after, and then they take your name and address, and
Do you still have it?
6 to 8 weeks. I do not. I definitely do not. I think I remember giving it to the Goodwill or something, getting rid of it because as I grew up,
It's
People
Star
don't
Wars.
think people don't think about collecting stuff when they're growing
Okay,
up.
Jeremy
Well-
comes from a family who collects things.
I mean,
Speaking
that's
of
true.
collecting things, my younger brother, was a collector, and so he would get all these toys and leave them in the box. And I'm like, whoa,
Okay.
what? Why are you leaving all the toys? Play with your toys.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. He would just keep them, and I'm sure he's probably very wealthy from all the Star Wars. But my family and I go on vacation, and we go. We're out in Seattle. We stay with some friends, and my daughters are younger at the time. I think it was 5 and 7, and so whenever kids get quiet, as a parent, there is a problem. And so we
It's
were
the
we
same
had
with
just
dogs.
gotten yeah exactly. We were in this new house we had never been in before, and it just got really really quiet. And so I'm like, well, where are my kids? I've been unpacking, and then I'm like, where did everybody go? And so I start walking around the house, and they have this little den area. And I walk in, and there's like trophy cases that are opened. And I kid you not, there are every single Star Wars figure. There's Ewok Village, AT-AT, Millennium Falcon. Everything is there. And my kids are figures scattered everywhere. And I was petrified. And so I just numbly turn around and go to the person we're staying with, and I said, the Star Wars figures, is it okay that the kids play with them? And he's like, yeah, they're toys. They're meant to be played with. And then I went and played with them. Because, I mean, you never know them because they're always in boxes.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you see a toy, in a display case, you
Yeah.
don't think, I can play with these. You think,
oh man.
Oh, man.
That's
that-
exactly
You know?
what I thought. And I thought we were going to be in a lot of trouble.
What a turn at the end. I was
Yeah.
so worried.
I know,
I was
like-
gonna go like, oh yeah, and then hey Dad, look, we're playing with this Boba Fett. It has a rocket,
Right,
It's
just
a
like-
$100,000 toy or whatever. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Took it out of the
Lord.
packaging and
Right.
completely worthless now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, and that could have went sideways.
It could have.
very quickly.
Yes.
That could have went sideways. So, well, I really liked having you on, Bill. I look forward to like having you on as a guest again. So hopefully you
This was
want
a lot of fun.
You want to come back. It's
Oh,
a lot
for
of
sure.
fun. It was really cool to like listen to your story, and you have to get some more prepared for next time
Right.
and stuff like that. But anyways, Kara, you got anything as we wrap up?
Well, you were going to mention a story.
Which one?
Sonic.
Which Sonic story?
Kept in the package.
Oh, didn't we talk about that last time?
Yeah,
Did
for
we?
the garage sale?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Oh,
did.
yeah, we did
because
talk about that,
okay,
yeah.
because Bill mentioned the toys in the box, and okay, never mind.
We talked
I
about
actually
Sonic.
have something in the package, though, for you guys. I brought you guys a gift.
Oh, you did?
Oh, we did.
I did.
Yeah, it's out in the hallway.
No, I brought another gift.
Oh.
This is a magical random Harry Potter figure. So you
Yes.
get one,
My
Oh
goodness.
my god.
and you get one,
Right.
and
Oh,
you get
seriously,
one.
this is
please
awesome.
let me get
Yes.
the Niffler. Please let me get the
All right.
Niffler.
well,
Well, we have to open these
We have to open
on
up right now.
camera.
We're
Yes.
gonna open up right now. Who wants to go
Oh.
first?
Go ahead. I'll
want
do
me to
mine
go
last.
first? Okay.
If anybody gets the Niffler, I get it.
Okay, here we go.
I might get the Niffler.
I need to see how
This
Jeremy
might
opens this to see how they
be
get
the
open.
Niffler.
I know.
Kara's cut them.
Kara is in the dental industry, and so she always says teeth are jewels. not-
Wait. I'm gonna throw scissors at you, which is not advisable
There you go.
I will come
either.
and grab them.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
I've seen
kids,
the-
do
I've
not
seen the
try this
video
at home.
on the internet of a guy getting them in the arm. And
Oh,
we don't need
Lordy.
to recreate that today. Okay, here we go. I went right for it. Oh,
Oh my
the legs
goodness.
came out.
The
Okay.
gray
legs,
pants.
gray legs.
Okay,
Because
hold
it has
on.
legs.
Based
Hold
on
on.
gray pants, who do you think they are?
I
Snape.
think this is Harry Potter wearing the invisibility cloak.
That's it.
Ooh.
No.
Good job.
Oh, here we go. Wait, did you say? Who'd you say?
What?
What?
I didn't say.
Kara, you said Snape.
I
You
said Snape.
You said Snape.
Yep.
Oh, so we got. Well, maybe it's not Snape. I thought it was because he's wearing. Okay, here we go. I'll put them together piece by piece.
I hope it's Malfoy for you.
So
Here we
dramatic.
go. Here we go. Oh, so we got hair. And oh, who is this now? Let's see. I got this. Oh, it's the guy who changes into the and then flies away from the magical beast.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Oh, what's his
Yeah,
name?
yeah. He ends up being like super cool, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, what is his name? He's the kid that they were after in
right.
the
They're trying to find him. They think he's a nothing, but
Do you
he's
know?
the
Yeah.
one.
Creed?
Credence.
I haven't seen
Credence.
Credence.
I haven't
Credence
seen it
Clearwater
yet.
Revival. That's
Oh
how I
my
remember
God.
that.
Credence.
Yep,
you
this is
got the
Credence.
cheat sheet there, so you'll be able to tell everybody else what they got.
Okay, here we go. So I got Credence.
Nice.
Please
Awesome.
let me get him.
You should share those
What's his
scissors,
name again?
Jeremy.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Here we
my
go.
goodness. Newt. I hope I get Newt because he's got the Niffler. Please.
If you guys get Harry Potter, you get the owl. If you get Hermione, you get Crookshanks.
So Jeremy, you talked about the invisibility cloak.
Did you get Harry?
I got Harry with the invisibility
Oh.
cloak.
For real?
That's
real?
awesome.
Oh, that is a thing on here. Look at that. Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak.
Oh, that's so
What
great.
are the
Hold on, I
odds
need to
of
put it
that?
together. He's got the short little legs too.
Oh, you can get the baker with it. He's got his biscuits and his stuff too. From
That is awesome.
Oh, there's the cape. I was like, I lost the cape.
I
Ooh, there's a
can't
cool side.
believe
That is
you-
dope.
You got the Harry with an invisibility.
Well, that's really funny that you mentioned that and then I get it.
I was just being funny. Yeah. All right, Chris, you gonna open
Oh
yours
wait,
up?
here,
I
Chris, I'm gonna throw you
suppose.
the scissors.
Yeah. Jeremy, you should just let me throw them at you.
Oh,
All right, here we go. This is going to be so dramatic because people won't be able to see anything that I'm doing here.
Yeah.
that's okay. Because you will tell us. We get to see the reveal live.
All right, I got... Get all the bits out here.
Who'd you get?
Well, it's somebody that's... I think I got Ron.
Is there a rat with him?
Yes.
Scabbers?
Yep.
Then you got
Ron?
Ron.
Yeah, I got Ron and Peter Pettigrew, apparently.
The double.
That's so
That's
awesome.
awesome.
These
Thanks,
are really
Bill.
cool.
You're
can
very
get-
welcome.
You can get the Tea Lady, you can get Cedric, you can get Dumbledore, Harry with the Invisibility Cloak, Mad Eye Moody. You can get the girl that you can get like the two brothers and I'll just hold it up. That's the answer.
There you go.
So
gonna go
what's
with-
this?
Is that a wand that breaks out?
That's what I would guess. That they look like
Oh, they're
two
little
wands.
wands.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked like
Double-wheeled
some...
wands?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
So cool.
Ron canonically does have two wands.
Oh, he does.
Oh, does
He's
he?
always got the
'Cause his brakes.
his
Yeah.
brakes, and he gets
Oh,
another
that's
one.
right.
Well, what a way to wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Thank
That's
Bill. That was
awesome.
absolutely
You are welcome.
awesome.
Well, so now I need to. I think now's as good a time as any to spoil it for Bill. We're going to be playing Harry Potter edition. Name that Lego brick with you later on.
Oh, awesome.
So that's super dope. That's a nice segue for us. But
There they are.
that's awesome.
Well, we are so glad that you guys came down to be on the show, and with everyone watching, thank you so much. We just we love making these videos. I want to give a shout out to Norwal Music too. We loved your comment. We really, really appreciate it. They
Yeah.
just said that they're super glad they stumbled upon our channel. So thank you very much for giving us that positive feedback. If you like these videos, make sure you subscribe, and that way you'll get notified when we post new stuff. Or if you ring the bell, and throw a like on it if you thought our stories and funny today, or let us know if you want to see more Bill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see more Bill? Woo!
4 more years.
Yeah, more yes, I guess. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for watching.
May the force be with you.